You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Dwell on the beauty of life. Watch the stars and see yourself running with them. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth. Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment. When you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to think, to enjoy, to love. The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. It is not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live. Accept the things to which fate binds you, and love the people with whom fate brings you together, but do so with all your heart. Never let the future disturb you. You will meet it if you have to with the same weapons of reason which today arm you against the present. Our life is what our thoughts make it. Whenever you are about to find fault with someone, ask yourself the following question: what fault of mine most nearly resembles the one I am about to criticize? If someone is able to show me that what I think or do is not right, I will happily change, for I seek the truth, by which no one was ever truly harmed. It is the person who continues in his self-deception and ignorance who is harmed. I have often wondered how it is that every man loves himself more than all the rest of men, but yet sets less value on his own opinion of himself than on the opinion of others. If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. The object of life is not to be on the side of the majority, but to escape finding oneself in the ranks of the insane. Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. They are like this because they can't tell good from evil. But I have seen the beauty of good and the ugliness of evil, and have recognized that the wrongdoer has a nature related to my own, not of the same blood and birth, but the same mind, and possessing a share of the divine. And so none of them can hurt me. No one can implicate me in ugliness, nor can I feel angry at my relative or hate him. We were born to work together like feet, hands, and eyes, like the two rows of teeth, upper and lower. To obstruct each other is unnatural. To feel anger at someone, to turn your back on him, these are unnatural. The best revenge is not to be like your enemy. Live a good life. If there are gods, and they are just then, they will not care how devout you have been, but will welcome you based on the virtues you have lived by. If there are gods but unjust, then you should not want to worship them. If there are no gods, then you will be gone, but will have lived a noble life that will live on in the memories of your loved ones. Reject your sense of injury, and the injury itself disappears. When another blames you or hates you or people voice similar criticisms, go to their souls, penetrate inside, and see what sort of people they are. You will realize that there is no need to be racked with anxiety that they should hold any particular opinion about you. How much more grievous are the consequences of anger than the causes of it? The first rule is to keep an untroubled spirit. The second is to look things in the face and know them for what they are. Do not act as if you were going to live 10,000 years. Death hangs over you. While you live, while it is in your power, be good. Think of yourself as dead. You have lived your life. Now take what's left and live it properly. What doesn't transmit light creates its own darkness. Here is a rule to remember in future when anything tempts you to feel bitter. Not, this is misfortune, but to bear this worthily is good fortune. Look well into thyself. There is a source of strength which will always spring up if thou wilt always look. How much time he gains who does not look to see what his neighbor says or does or thinks, but only at what he does himself to make it just and holy. You always own the option of having no opinion. There is never any need to get worked up or to trouble your soul about things you can't control. These things are not asking to be judged by you. Leave them alone. What we do now echoes in eternity. Begin each day by telling yourself, today I shall be meeting with interference, ingratitude, insolence, disloyalty, ill will, and selfishness. All of them due to the offender's ignorance of what is good. You are a little soul carrying about a corpse, as Epictetus used to say. Do every act of your life as though it were the very last act of your life. Begin each day by telling yourself, today, I shall be meeting with interference, ingratitude, insolence, disloyalty, ill will, and selfishness, all of them due to the offender's ignorance of what is good or evil. But for my part, I have long perceived the nature of good and its nobility, the nature of evil and its meanness, and also the nature of the culprit himself, who is my brother, not in the physical sense, but as a fellow creature, similarly endowed with reason and a share of the divine. Therefore, none of those things can injure me, for nobody can implicate me in what is degrading. Neither can I be angry with my brother or fall foul of him, for he and I were born to work together like a man's 2 hands, feet, or eyelids, or the upper and lower rows of his teeth. To obstruct each other is against nature's law, and what is irritation or aversion but a form of obstruction? Do not indulge in dreams of having what you have not, but reckon up the chief of the blessings you do possess, and then thankfully remember how you would crave for them if they were not yours. Perfection of character is this: to live each day as if it were your last, without frenzy, without apathy, without pretense. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Look back over the past with its changing empires that rose and fell, and you can foresee the future. For it is in your power to retire into yourself whenever you choose. At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, I have to go to work. As a human being, what do I have to complain of if I'm going to do what I was born for? The things I was brought into the world to do? Or is this what I was created for? To huddle under the blankets and stay warm? Your days are numbered. Use them to throw open the windows of your soul to the sun. If you do not, the sun will soon set, and you with it. The universe is change. Our life is what our thoughts make it. Remember that very little is needed to make a happy life. A man's worth is no greater than the worth of his ambitions. Never esteem anything as of advantage to you that will make you break your word or lose your self-respect. Receive without conceit, release without struggle. Don't go on discussing what a good person should be, just be one. Casting aside other things, hold to the precious few. And besides, bear in mind that every man lives only the present, which is an indivisible point, and that all the rest of his life is either past or is uncertain. Brief is man's life, and small the nook of the earth where he lives. Brief, too, is the longest posthumous fame, buoyed only by a succession of poor human beings who will very soon die, and who know little of themselves, much less of someone who died long ago. If any man despises me, that is his problem. My only concern is not doing or saying anything deserving of contempt. It is in your power to withdraw yourself whenever you desire. Perfect tranquility within consists in the good ordering of the mind, the realm of your own. The things you think about determine the quality of your mind. Just that you do the right thing. The rest doesn't matter. Cold or warm, tired or well-rested, despised or honored, dying or busy with other assignments. Because dying too is one of our assignments in life. There as well, to do what needs doing. Look inward. Don't let the true nature of anything elude you. Before long, all existing things will be transformed to rise like smoke, assuming all things become one, or be dispersed in fragments, to move from one unselfish act to another with God in mind. Only there delight and stillness. When jarred unavoidably by circumstances, revert at once to yourself, and don't lose the rhythm more than you can help. You'll have a better grasp of the harmony if you keep going back to it. It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own. A person's worth is measured by the worth of what he values. How ridiculous and how strange to be surprised at anything which happens in life. Life is neither good or evil, but only a place for good and evil. If someone can prove me wrong and show me my mistake in any thought or action, I shall gladly change. I seek the truth, which never harmed anyone. The harm is to persist in one's own self-deception and ignorance. Humans have come into being for the sake of each other, so either teach them or learn to bear them. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Therefore, guard accordingly and take care that you entertain no notions unsuitable to virtue and reasonable nature. Do what you will. Even if you tear yourself apart, most people will continue doing the same things. Though you break your heart, men will go on as before. Do not act as if you had 10,000 years to throw away. Death stands at your elbow. Be good for something while you live, and it is in your power. Accept whatever comes to you, woven in the pattern of your destiny, for what could more aptly fit your needs. Death smiles at us all. All we can do is smile back. Regain your senses, call yourself back, and once again wake up. Now that you realize that only dreams were troubling you, view this reality as you view your dreams. Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul. Whoever does wrong wrongs himself. Whoever does injustice does it to himself, making himself evil. The happiness of those who want to be popular depends on others. The happiness of those who seek pleasure fluctuates with moods outside their control. But the happiness of the wise grows out of their own free acts. If you are pained by external things, it is not they that disturb you, but your own judgment of them. And it is in your power to wipe out that judgment now. Choose not to be harmed, and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed, and you haven't been. Confine yourself to the present. Or is it your reputation that's bothering you? But look at how soon we're all forgotten. The abyss of endless time that swallows it all. The emptiness of those applauding hands. The people who praise us. How capricious they are, how arbitrary. And the tiny region it takes place. The whole earth a point in space, and most of it uninhabited. Observe always that everything is the result of change, and get used to thinking that there is nothing nature loves so well as to change existing forms and make new ones like them. The memory of everything is very soon overwhelmed in time. Do not waste what remains of your life in speculating about your neighbors unless with a view to some mutual benefit. To wonder what so-and-so is doing and why, or what he is saying or thinking or scheming. In a word, anything that distracts you from fidelity to the ruler within you means a loss of opportunity for some other task. Because a thing seems difficult for you, do not think it impossible for anyone to accomplish. Concentrate every minute like a Roman, like a man, on doing what's in front of you with precise and genuine seriousness, tenderly, willingly, with justice, and on freeing yourself from all other distractions. Yes, you can. If you do everything as if it were the last thing you were doing in your life and stop being aimless, stop letting your emotions override what your mind tells you. Stop being hypocritical, self-centered, irritable. You see how few things you have to do to live a satisfying and reverent life? If you can manage this, that's all even the gods can ask of you. Be like the cliff against which the waves continually break, but it stands firm and tames the fury of the water around it.